Imagine biting something sweeter than anything around you. No bakery, no candy, no white crystals, only a tree, angry bees, and hunger. The first human sugar rush probably hurt. But when did humans start eating sugar? The answer depends entirely on what sugar means. Chemically, sugar existed long before humans. Plants make sugars using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Fruit stores those sugars as portable packets of energy. Animals learned to recognize that sweetness quickly. Sweet usually meant ripe, digestible, and calorie-rich. Bitter could mean unripe, poisonous, or dangerous. Natural selection rewarded creatures choosing the sweeter option. Our love of sweetness is therefore extremely ancient. It predates farming, pottery, and civilization. It may predate humanity itself. Our primate ancestors already ate sugary fruits. They also consumed nectar, young leaves, and plant sap. Early hominins inherited that biological machinery. A sweet taste receptor sat ready on their tongues. When fruit ripened, its sugar concentration increased. That made ripe fruit easier to detect. It made ripe fruit worth remembering. A reliable fruit tree kept families alive. So ancient humans ate sugars from the beginning. Not spoonfuls, not cubes, not syrup bottles. They ate sugar locked inside whole foods. Fruit supplied fructose, glucose, water, and fiber. Roots and tubers supplied starch that became glucose. Breast milk supplied lactose to every human infant. Before honey hunting, babies already tasted sugar. That changes the question completely. We should ask when humans found concentrated sweetness. That is where archaeology gets frustrating. Bones survive. Stone tools survive. Sugar disappears. A honey meal leaves little behind. Fruit pulp rots before archaeologists can find it. So researchers search for indirect traces. They examine teeth, plaque, pottery, and plant remains. Teeth are especially useful because sugar feeds bacteria. Those bacteria release acids that attack enamel. The damage becomes a permanent record of diet. One remarkable record comes from Tafaralt, Morocco. People lived there roughly 15,000 years ago. They were hunter-gatherers, not farmers. Yet their teeth looked surprisingly modern. In 2014, Louise Humphrey led a major study. Her team examined adult teeth from the cave. More than half showed at least one cavity. The exact figure was 51.2%. Typical hunter-gatherer rates were usually far lower. So what were these people eating? Not candy, not bread. Mostly wild plants. Charred remains included acorns, pine nuts, and juniper. Those foods contained fermentable carbohydrates. Grinding and cooking made carbohydrates easier to digest. They also made them easier for bacteria. Their cavities became evidence of concentrated plant energy. This was sugar's shadow, not refined sugar itself. The first truly dramatic sweetness was probably honey. Honey can be around 80% sugars. It delivers glucose and fructose without chewing plants. For a hungry forager, that was extraordinary energy. But honey came guarded by stinging insects. Getting it required climbing, smoke, tools, and courage. Chimpanzees also raid hives when opportunities appear. This suggests honey hunting is deeply ancestral. Anthropologist Alyssa Crittenden proposed something larger. Honey may have fueled expanding human brains. It is dense, portable, and rapidly digested. Could sweetness have helped make us human? Possibly, but direct evidence remains rare. Rock art shows people collecting honey from wild nests. Some images may be thousands of years old. Beeswax residues survive better than honey itself. They have appeared in Neolithic pottery across several regions. Some evidence reaches the 7th millennium BCE. In 2021, Julie Dunn analyzed Nigerian pottery. Her team tested 458 prehistoric vessel fragments. Beeswax appeared in over 1/3 of useful samples. The vessels were around 3,500 years old. They may have processed honey, wax, or bee larvae. The chemistry cannot reveal every ancient action. Still, humans clearly chased sweetness before written history. Then another plant transformed sweetness forever. Sugarcane is a giant grass filled with sucrose. Its wild relatives grew around New Guinea. People began selecting the sweetest, thickest stalks. Crop research places domestication around 8,000 years ago. Early users probably chewed the stalks directly. They were not sprinkling crystals onto food. They crushed fibers and sucked out sweet juice. Imagine discovering a grass that tasted like dessert. That discovery changed which plants people protected. Humans carried sugarcane westward through island networks. It eventually reached South Asia. There, processing became increasingly sophisticated. Juice was pressed from the stalk. Heat removed water and concentrated the sweetness. Cooling produced thick syrups and solid sweet masses. Around 500 BCE, Indian producers made granular sugar. This was a completely different human experience. Sweetness could now be separated from fruit. It could be stored, measured, transported, and traded. Sugar stopped being only a seasonal discovery. It became a technology. But it was still rare and expensive. Most ancient people never ate it regularly. Their sweetness came from fruit, dates, and honey. The modern sugar world arrived much later. Industrial machinery made refining faster and cheaper. Plantations and global trade multiplied the supply. Then sugar moved from treasure to background ingredient. Our biology never received the same update. We still react as if sweetness is scarce. The ancient brain says, "Eat it now." The modern environment says, "There is always more." That mismatch explains much of sugar's power. So when did ancient humans first eat sugar? In fruit, long before humans were truly human. In breast milk, from every generation's first days. In honey, probably far earlier than evidence survives. In sugarcane, roughly 8,000 years ago. In crystals, around 500 BCE in India. There was never one first spoonful. There were millions of small discoveries: a ripe fruit, a raided hive, a chewed stalk. Each discovery concentrated energy a little further. Each discovery trained culture around an ancient appetite. Your craving for sweetness is not childish weakness. It is a survival message from deep time. The message never learned abundance. Ancient humans searched entire landscapes for sweetness. Modern humans can summon it without standing up. Sugar did not suddenly enter the human story. It was waiting inside the story all along.